Hey, Queen. I'm Vieira Miles, and this is the Holistic Sister Circle podcast, a show where we hear the stories of soulful women all over the world dedicated to sharing insight into why holistic health is the future and what women should do today to ensure they have the necessary tools and resources to bring out their inner royal roots, assess their body, and remedy any illness from the comfort of their home. Y'all, we are setting the royal record straight, okay? If you'd like to connect with us further, you can follow us at The Holistic Sister Circle on Instagram and join the Holistic Sister Circle Facebook group for live interviews, collaborative Q&A, and exclusive training on how to build your wellness dream team. Now, let's dive into this week's episode. See you on the other side. Welcome to another episode of the Holistic Sister Circle. Today we have Desaray with us, and I'm super excited about this one, y'all. Desaray, not only is she an astrologer and wellness coach, but she really focuses on heart-led coaching businesses that guide women through emotional healing, self-love, and spiritual support, women empowerment, and wellness using astrology. She provides personalized birth chart coaching with transformational energetic guidance for women who love to understand more about the meaning behind their birthday, to rediscover the potential and meet life's challenges with more ease through the lens of astrology with her personal astrology wellness program. This is going to be so much fun. You know, when we were talking, I was like, "Ooh, this is so cool. I've never actually worked with anyone that specifically focuses on astrology where they're reading me." So I'm excited to see what you've come up with. But before we get into the readings and, we go into women empowerment, of course, we have a lot of female entrepreneurs that follow us in the group, especially within our podcast playground for female entrepreneurs. So Desaray, before we get into all of that, I would love for you to just share a little bit with us about what is something that the internet doesn't know about you that you would love to share?
Well, I don't know how much of it doesn't know that, I don't know. I don't really broadcast that I'm a nurse online. I work in dialysis. I'm a dialysis nurse, so I do a lot of patient care. And that's one thing that I was passionate about 7 years ago. And so I developed a love for astrology now, and I still do nursing, but I really am into my astrology coaching stuff. So
Yeah, no, super cool. And thank you for sharing that. We actually have so many women in our community as well who are nurses and practitioners and wellness experts. So you're definitely in the right place. And I know we're going to be talking to them in just a second. But can you share with us what led you into astrology?
Well, nursing really. There was so much, I guess it was emotionally taxing to just be in such critical care environments. I mean, even still, it became something where I knew I needed a particular outlet that was healthy and actually strengthening my emotions and actually fed me. And I started to dig into my birth chart. I always loved birthdays. I always thought they were special, especially mine, which is Sunday, by the way.
Happy
And
early birthday!
thank
Y'all give her
you.
some
Thank you.
love. Tell Desiree happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, so I've always been interested in the meaning of what kind of brings us here and how we kind of go through life and what the journey is. And I know it's specific for everyone, and it's always having different ideas from most people I knew and different spiritual beliefs, and coming from a really strong spiritual background. I just had to kind of dig into my birth chart and if it had meaning, and even trying to be skeptical, it really didn't work. Because once I started, my birthday always resonate. And then once I started digging even deeper, I was like, this is like a door opened.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. And it just I'm like, I want to be in alignment with who I truly am. And once I discovered how to do that and kind of practice doing that, developing routines and rituals, and all based on self love. And I feel like sometimes people could see astrology and the transits as like harsh, but it's all out of love. And like what we're really here to do is love and be loved. So that's kind of how I digged into it deeper. And I just noticed that I've been able to love myself more, and I've been able to love other people more as well.
You know what's interesting to what you just said too? Because I hear this a lot, and we're gonna play on some controversy for a second, but there are people who do believe that astrology can, the opposite side of that is a more of a demonic thing, a demonic spirit, and we
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be focusing on astrology. What is your thought process to
Mm-hmm.
that, and why do you feel like that people are thinking that way when it comes to astrology?
Um, I think the major thing is just lack of awareness. The lack of awareness, just not being aware, the fear of the unknown, and also too, there's demonic and there's evil in every tradition, in every religion, in every spirituality. I mean, nobody's perfect. The world isn't made with, perfect. So I feel like it's all about what you do and what your intentions are. Because I mean, we have different intentions in churches, different intentions in different cultures and traditions, and there's still good in it, even though there's people that might use it for the wrong purposes. But I just found that, for me, it was really just about mostly like self love and self care, and just practicing those alignments and actually seeing the results really made me like a firm believer, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, and I love that you said it depends on your intention because I don't know if I ever told you this, but I'm also a yoga practitioner. And
Ooh.
one of the things that I had learned just in that space, especially when I was starting to get my certification and I was wanting to deepen my practice, I would come across like articles or have conversations with people, and they would literally tell me, or I would read about it, it being even from a yoga perspective, like there's certain poses that are demonic and all these different things, and
Oh
would
my
share the same thing.
gosh.
Yeah, I would share the same thing. It's all about your intention, right? Like,
Mhm.
what is the purpose of this? And for me, when I started my practice, it was really for me to open up my hips, open up my womb, so I could actually move my bowels. Like that's literally why I started yoga in the first place. And I'm just like, how is this now demonic? Like I'm just so confused because this wasn't my intention going into it.
Right.
So, I want to address that with people who are listening. Aside, we have obviously female entrepreneurs in the group, and they're always very highly aware of what works for them, but we also have on the opposite side of that women who are not female entrepreneurs, and they're just listening to this for the first time. And I just want you all to know too that it's very good to focus on your intention, and you're setting that intention even in astrology.
Mhm.
um Desiree, could you share with
And
us? Oh, go ahead.
also, oh, sorry, just also just to realize, like, where is the space? Where are you coming from when you're coming from a space of maybe resistance or a space of like it's conflicting? Like, because I know things can be conflicting, especially when it's completely different from what you used to. So it's like, why am I in this space? Like, you can approach it with, like, for those listeners, a space of curiosity. Like, I feel like that would really kind of level out any of those like negative feelings towards astrology. Like, just that curiosity, as in everyone's different, and maybe it's something that I can learn from, or I can learn that I don't like.
Yeah, and I believe that to be true too, because there's so many different things where we try it and we're just like, I don't really like that, or it doesn't
Mhm.
feel aligned with me. And then there's things where we absolutely love it and we want to continue to do it. So I think that's just a
Yeah.
beautiful point that you made. Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome, awesome. So obviously, I know you focus specifically on female entrepreneurs and heart-led business owners. So could you share, how does astrology play out in business? Like, why would you recommend a woman entrepreneur to leverage astrology to learn more about herself?
Oh my gosh. So I'm as I'm starting my business and actually growing my business, I've learned a lot. And I've even experienced things where I'm starting to notice more and more how business is spiritual. Like business
Yes.
has it has a spiritual impact on your individuality and your purpose in life and how you treat other people and how you connect with people. And that's literally like your blueprint is your birth chart. I mean, for me personally, my birth chart has something called the North Node, which is like the soul's purpose. Like it's almost as if like this is the real reason you came here. Like everything in alignment with your North Node is the space that you want to be in. It's the space that will feel more easeful than any other. So you know when you're in alignment, when things are kind of flowing. I know we all experience like things being able to flow, and sometimes we're just in alignment, we don't even know our birth chart, or it's just that's just the way it is, or there's other transits happening. But particularly the North Node is how I keep my business intact. My North
Mm.
Node is in the 11th house, which is a normal house for an Aquarius. It's an innovative space, it's a community space, it's a social space, it's a group space. And also, too, it's all the spaces I'm uncomfortable with. So sometimes the North Node, and most times the North Node is an uncomfortable space because it's supposed to be where you're evolving to, like the space that is going to make you evolve as a spiritual being. You know, we're all living a human experience as spiritual beings, and the North Node is a space that you pretty much grow your soul from. And so for me, it seems uncomfortable when I'm reaching out in these spaces. But I notice like things like, for instance, and I know we're talking about business, but for instance, my North Node in Aquarius, I married an Aquarius, and this was before I knew astrology. My dog is an Aquarius. There's a lot of alignment just in that in itself. And I just feel like when I'm in alignment with my business, I'm following those same energies, really, just those same community-based energies. Aquarius are also like humanitarian. You know, they want peace for everyone. They're also, it's also a revolutionary type of sign where you want the freedom for you and others. So it's kind of that type of deal. And I just feel like somebody who is trying to do well in their business and trying to expand in their business, they'll reach higher levels of satisfaction, higher levels of fulfillment when they kind of like block out the noise from all of the like marketing corporate world and just literally just zone into that North Node energy, zone into whatever like Capricorn energies that are in your chart, because I have a lot of Capricorn energy in my chart as well. And really just dive into those pieces that really make your purpose more graceful and more impactful, really.
I love this. And I'm checking the chat as we're talking. So Akila says happy birthday. T says happy birthday. And then Akila,
Thank
I guess
you.
Akila knows she knows about astrology as well. She says she's a North Node Sag. And then she
Oh,
said
wow.
Lilith
Sweet.
Aquarius.
Neat.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
Cool.
I,
I
I
love
I feel
that.
like this could be the perfect time to learn about my birth chart. I'm like, everybody knows about their birth chart. I want to know about my birth chart, Desiree. Let me know.
Yeah. So, I mean, your
Wait,
North Node. Oh,
before you start,
sorry.
sorry. Tell
Yeah.
people what is a North Node and how did you determine what information did you need to identify my birth chart?
So, to identify your birth chart, you need your birth time, date, an accurate time, date, and place. So, whatever country, state, city you're born in at the specific time on that specific day is personalized to you. No birth chart is the same at all. There are some that's very similar, but none are the same. So, it's a unique blueprint of your life. And I like to think of the birth chart as a roadmap to this journey of life that we're on. It's just so in my program, it's the Joyride Journey, and I really focus on trying to get people in alignment with their North Node. It's basically they get to that space of that sense of ease and sense of understanding themselves. That's the journey I took with astrology, where once I knew my North Node, I literally felt complete. I was like, oh, this is it. I have to strive for this. And ever since then, it's been really a great journey. But yeah, so my program basically it starts in the fall, and it's a 8-week program that just basically we go through coaching tips on a weekly basis that really helps people to get in alignment with their North Node. And by the end of those 8 weeks, I did a little program a little while ago, and people really understand their purpose better. And they understand a lot of people have a theme in their chart, and sometimes it just takes a little while to kind of recognize your theme, or you'll say like, oh, this happened to me all the time and I never knew why. And then you're recognizing there's a theme and there's a purpose to it, there's a reason to it. And it's not like, the universe hates you or God hates you. It's more of like, what are these lessons? And you start to recognize the patterns that you reckon with, and it actually can be so much beneficial, and you can take those tough times and actually use them for a better purpose. Like yeah, you'll use that in as better lessons too. So yeah. What was the end of your question? I'm sorry.
What's my reading, Desiree?
Oh, okay, great. So you're Libra. Okay, I have you right here.
Tell
So
me,
this is
tell me.
great. Libra. So I want to start off with your sun. Your sun is in Libra, of course, which is a great sign for building relationships, a great sign for partnerships, contracts,
Oh,
business.
how did I
Um,
do?
Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, and it's all about the balance and harmony. They make great mediators. They can kind of balance out situations or turmoil on situations. They can be that middle person that kind of sees both sides and kind of can blend that balance and harmony in both sides. They have like that natural gift of like feeling what each person might feel, and become that mediator. So your Libra is in your 12th house. And what that means is your 12th house is basically, you can see you as a Libra, you're walking into this house. This house is designated for another archetype called Pisces. So, as a Libra, you're bringing that relationship, you're bringing that partnership, you're bringing all those things, but you're bringing it with a different sort of flavor. It's a more Piscean flavor, it's a flavor of spirituality, a flavor of deep hidden things. So you're going through, you're walking in that house and you're going straight to the basement or the attic. You're gonna find something. You're gonna find something.
Oh Lord. Here
So
we
that's
go.
so you have an innate like talent for just digging into the spiritual realms of things, and really finding digging into the subconscious too. Like you might have a lot of subconscious, um I don't know, ideas, or I don't know how to explain it, but something subconscious. I don't know if that resonates, does it? If you're
Yeah, I
interested in
mean,
that type of subconscious atmosphere, where like the conscious mind is thinking one thing, but the subconscious mind may have some other things. Like maybe you're trying to operate from that space a little bit more, than just like, like that robotic phase that the conscious mind is just used to those habits. The subconscious mind tends to be like the buried thoughts that we don't want to reveal, we don't want to let out. And also too, in that house, things can be a little foggy, they can become unclear. Like relationships can be a little foggy, relationships can be a little bit unclear. You may struggle to like really pinpoint a person's like agenda. Things like that might be a little foggy to you. But you have your Mercury there, which is like your mental cap. Your Mercury is in the house of Scorpio, so you're the private mentally, you're that private investigator. You can find out a lot about a person. You have that ability to like have a nudge maybe, or a mental thought or a note like, hmm, I got to dig into that. Like, or you might talk to somebody. I'm like, were you honest? Did you, what, I think you lied. Those kinds of things. I don't know if that resonates with you. Like, you just kind of have a knack for knowing those things.
So I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'm like, I want to be super quick what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
But certain things that you said are on point because when I started this podcast, I had just lost a baby. And at that time, I was like, I didn't have a community. I didn't have really, obviously I had my husband at the time, but like he doesn't really know what I'm going through internally. Like he can't feel me on
Mhm.
that level. So I felt like I was kind of going through this alone in a sense, and I didn't really
Mhm.
have a community that I could tap into or connect with. And I remember all I had at that time was literally a piece of paper and a pen to journal my thoughts. And every time I would journal my thoughts, everything that was coming up for me was, and that's why I say this is very, very spiritual, just like you were saying, and it's very God ordained because everything that I read at that time had everything to do with circles and community. And I didn't even come up with the name. I didn't come up with the it being a circle. Like all of that was spiritually led. And I'm grateful for it because it allowed me to open up, and through opening up and actually talking about my story, it created that evolution that I needed for healing. So that's as far as going deeper, right? So it's like every situation that I essentially find myself into, I'm always led out of that situation through a spiritual journey. The same way with
Mhm.
jobs. There was a time where, I mean, I was making very good money in my corporate career. And I remember I was like battling with God, and I was like, okay, all I need to do is pay off this little bit of debt. Let me just pay off this debt, and then like I'm yours, I promise, right? That same day, I was fired,
Oh.
and I was like, okay, okay, I hear you here, okay. And
Mm.
ever since then, I've tried to apply for jobs, nothing works, nothing.
Mm.
And it got to
That's
the point where I'm
interesting.
like pushed into a direction that, you know, honestly, quite frankly, I don't know where it's going to lead, but all I
Mhm.
can feel is alignment.
Yeah. And I feel like for you, it's going to come with a great deal of security for yourself and others.
Hmm.
You have Saturn in your house of Aquarius. And like we talked about with Aquarius energy, Saturn is, for those who don't know, I'll explain, is a very strict planet. I like to describe Saturn as the father figure that like wants the best for you, but doesn't take any like straight up. Like the wise, but very wise and very like gentle but stern. So with Saturn being your Aquarius, I don't know if I had a couple dates like 2021 and 2012 was one that kind of stuck out. And then 2021 might have been a real hit for you. Um, that is Saturn really just making sure that you don't drift off the road. It kind of may drift you off the road so you can be on the right road. It kind of feels like, your car is like tumbling over, but that's just to keep you on track. That's just, God's way of saying like, I want you promise to be here, or this is your route. Don't go that way, or it's just trying to make
Yeah.
sure that you're on the right track. And I think in the midst of it, we never understand those lessons. Saturn is one of the toughest planet to have lessons with. It happens every 28 to 30 years and every 56 to 60 years, so most of us get two in our lifetimes. And it's one of those things where we're just being realigned. And in my program, I like to call it like a strip search, where you're just
Ooh.
stripped from everything that doesn't serve your authenticity. It
Hmm.
really humbles you. it gives you that humility to really make you basically all you have is what you're here to give in those senses. Like when Saturn came to see me, like all I have is what I'm here to give. And maybe other things might have clouded that in the past. So for you in Aquarius is that humanitarian spirit. It's also that your soul is deeply caring about others. It's that you love to be in community, and then you have a natural take for community, being a Libra. So it's all aligned.
No, this is super interesting because I was just thinking 2012, that was when I started learning more about my gut issues and what was actually causing those issues. Not knowing that it would be what it is today, but that was like my start of it. And then I would say in 2021, I had to reinvent myself because at that time I went from solely being inside of a community and just solely focusing on network marketing because I was in network marketing for years. And in 2021, I left. I left my team. I grew a team to the top of the bonus scale, all those things. And I left to figure out this thing online and create community online. So that was a big shift for me. Yeah. So that's really interesting.
Both of those were influenced by Saturn, which is really interesting. So it was like one was just a prep, and then the other was like, here we go.
And it's cool how they both combine because in my network marketing company, I was a health and wellness distributor. So it's just so funny how it all comes like full circle, which is
And with your Mercury, I just want to point out to you, maybe you can do some digging on your own. But with your Mercury and Scorpio, you're really, really smart. That's a really driven mentality. Like we call Scorpio the investigators. Your rising sign is Scorpio, meaning your soul is about digging down and finding that, and you're not afraid to uncover and rediscover. You're not afraid to start again. You're not afraid to and the great thing about that is it's worth it. Mentally, once your mind is made up, you're like, whatever it takes. So I just want to point that out to you. That's really
appreciate
really
that.
Inspiring.
This was awesome. Well, Desaray, thank you so much for your time. This has been amazing. I know I've taken away so much from you, and I'm sure our audience has too. And if anyone would like to just connect with you further, I wish we had more time with you, but if anyone wanted to connect with you further, what does that process look like?
So you can follow me on Instagram or Facebook, Astrology Wellness Coach. My name is Desaray. I have a link in my profile that you can sign up for a 15-minute discovery call, and we can go through some sessions, or you can pick your own session in my link in one of my bios. Yes, is Astrology Wellness Coach.
Awesome. Well, yeah, super excited. And then, of course, Desaray is now part of the Holistic Sister Circle community and part of the podcast Playground community. So, you can look out for her in both of the groups if you have questions or you want to connect with her further.
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. Oh my
Queen, thank you so much for tuning in. It truly warms our heart that you're taking the time out of your day to connect with us. If you'd like to connect with our guests further, you can find their information located in the description section of this episode. And if you found this episode helpful, share with another queen. And don't forget to connect with the Holistic Sister Circle on Instagram and Facebook. And until next week, stay blessed. Mwah.